Hi, I'm John Schreiber. For 15 years, the New Jersey Performing Arts Center has been the state's premier home to both world-class and community-inspired performances. We pride ourselves on presenting something for everyone, and that's why we're proud to partner with the Caucus Educational Corporation to bring you Conversations at NJPAC. This groundbreaking new series will feature some of the very best talent New Jersey has produced, along with many of the state's key leaders. We're pleased to welcome them and you to the Arts Center.
Funding for this edition of Conversations at NJPAC with Steve Adubato featuring Governor Christie has been provided by Health First New Jersey, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and banking under the principle of stewardship. TD Bank, NJ Best, New Jersey's 529 College Savings Plan. Turn a dream into a degree. Josh S. Weston, the Fidelco Group, Roche, Barnabas Health, the New Jersey Education Association, working for great public schools for every child. Cohn Resnick, providing accounting, tax, and advisory services for more than 90 years. And by New Jersey Natural Gas, proud to support education in our communities. Additional support provided by our media partner, the New Jersey Performing Arts Center.
This is One-on-One.
That's good acting, man.
I get that a lot. I go to Atlantic City all the time, like, are you the guy? I go, no, I'm not.
This is one you can't afford to miss.
They thought that I wouldn't survive it, but I knew I would.
Welcome to the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. I'm Steve Adubato. This is Conversations at NJPAC. This is Governor Christie. We are, in fact, in front of a live audience. See how they do that?
Magic.
It's amazing. What an audience. Let's just take them on the road.
Yeah.
Want to do some more substantive issues, and then we'll go back to all the concerts that
Whatever
you go to.
you want.
Hey, you were at the
I'm
Rolling
at your
Stones
disposal.
concert. Weren't you at the Rolling Stones concert?
Saturday night, yeah.
Yeah, you were. And Bruce Springsteen played with Mick Jagger.
He did.
That was big.
Oh, great.
Tumbling Dice.
Tumbling Dice did a
Your
great
review?
job. Oh, my. I'm totally in the tank. You know, the guy, you know, Mick Jagger and Bruce Springsteen. I thought the interesting thing was, it was one of the few times I've ever seen Bruce look a little bit deferential on the stage. Usually Bruce comes out, even if he's guesting with someone, he kind of takes over the stage. And I thought for the first time I saw Bruce be deferential. He was deferential to Mick Jagger, and I think, you know, it's probably from when he was a kid.
Yeah, you could talk music the whole time, but
We're not going to?
No. How about this one? No good segue. Governor, we would be remiss if we did not talk about the horrific situation in Connecticut. In fact, as we do this program, I just talked to our president, Neil Shapiro. There's a multi-hour special going on this weekend on WNET and our public television stations in this region, looking at a whole range of issues connected to gun violence in schools, et cetera. You've said some things about this publicly, but I want to go further here. Governor Malloy, who you do know. Governor, from your point of view, what, if anything, should government do, must we do, can we do, to protect our children, 6- and 7-year-old kids, 5 little, I mean, really 20 kids. What do we need to do with respect to protecting these kids, and does it have to do with gun laws?
Well, listen, I think that this moment should, I hope, cause us, and one of the things government, I think, should foster, is a national discussion about violence in our society. And that includes discussing gun control laws, mental health counseling, substance abuse counseling, and violence in media, both in television and the movies and in video games. All of those things, I think, have contributed to a desensitizing of our society to violence. And so I think that what government needs to do, and what leaders need to do, is to foster a national discussion about this. I don't think there are any easy answers.
What should it sound like?
Well, I hope what it sounds like is what the last few days have sounded like in the main, which is that it comes from a place of concern and caring for our society. But I think it's also important to caution folks that, you know, bad people are going to do bad things. Disturbed people are going to do bad things, and we are not going to be able to have an armed police officer outside every classroom. And so, you know, there are some, until we get at the broader systemic, societal problems that create this type of violence and make it acceptable in some people's minds, you're not going to be able to prevent some of this stuff. You're just not. You know,
But it doesn't mean we should, Governor, excuse me for interrupting you, but it doesn't mean that we should not try to strengthen, tighten up gun laws that would have stopped, not stopped, but made it illegal for this sick young man to have that particular gun. Wouldn't have stopped him if he chose to do that.
Listen, as I said,
make it illegal, right?
We have to have a discussion about all of these things, gun control laws being part of them. But the fact of the matter is, we have so many guns in America today already that merely the stopping of selling new ones.
But assault weapons, though.
But Steve, we've got plenty of those in society already. I don't want to just lie to people, though, and say, listen, if we pass a ban of any particular weapon, then what that's going to mean is that you're going to be safe.
You think that's a false sense?
I think it's a false sense given what our policies have been up to this point, because there are so many of these guns already in circulation in our society. So the point is, I think that's the easy political way out, is to say that that's the only thing we need to address. It is not the only thing we need to address. And as I said at the top, this is something that has to be addressed holistically. Because if you don't deal with the fact that this young man was obviously significantly disturbed, and for some reason, it appears, was not getting any type of treatment or care. Until we deal with that issue, you're just some type of ban is not going to fix the problem. By the same token, you know, you look at folks who are trying to deal with this issue in a holistic way, we have to give them the freedom to have that conversation, and both parties have to engage in that conversation in a way where they come into the conversation being willing to have open minds about what needs to be done. What's the cocktail that needs to be mixed here in order to try to make our society safer? But I also don't want people out there to be thinking that we're not going to have incidents like this again in the future, because we will. Because if someone is willing to give up their own life to take the lives of others, it is almost impossible to prevent them from doing so. We've had presidents, Steve. We had presidents guarded by the most well-armed and well-trained security guards in the world who have been assassinated. And so
stay on the mental
there's
health
part
issue.
of that. Yeah.
You open up the door here.
Sure.
On my Facebook page, on NJTV Online, on NJ.com, literally all the places through social media that we asked who wanted to ask you what questions, the issue of government's role in being more effective in dealing with those who have mental illness, dealing with mental illness, it just keeps coming up. You've talked about this. Why have we failed so miserably in this regard in terms of government's role?
Well, because there's still such an extraordinary stigma that's attached to admitting you have a problem. And that's whether it's alcohol or drug abuse, or whether it's other types of mental illness. There is still such a stigma attached to it, to getting treatment, whether that treatment be conversational therapy, or whether it be prescription medications or a combination of both. That I think even where we offer services as a government, and we do offer and pay for a lot of mental health services as a state government, as a federal government, lots of people won't access it because they feel stigmatized by it. Part of this national discussion has to be that mental illness is no different than having cancer or having any other disease. No one would ever think, I don't want anybody to know I have cancer, so I'm not going to go to the doctor. But yet with mental illness, we treat people differently. And I think that's what we need to get over as a society. It's an illness like anything else that needs to be treated. Same thing with substance abuse. And I've been pushing this really hard as governor, that, you know, we have to destigmatize and stop criminalizing an illness.
Yeah.
It hasn't been effective.
Let me try this. I wanted to, in preparing for this interview, there were so many different ways you could go in the limited time we have, but I'm curious about something. You've talked about your family before. You talked about the affection, that part of it. When you came home from school, if you didn't hug, it was a problem, right?
Yep.
But I'm curious about something else. Your parents played a big role in shaping you.
Sure.
You lost your mom how many years ago?
8.5.
And your dad continues to play a big role in your life.
Sure. Yep.
What was the biggest thing your mom taught you about? Why are you making a face when I say that?
It's like, because you want me to try to narrow it down to the biggest thing. My mother taught me. I mean, it's kind of like, you know.
Let me try to do this.
Go ahead.
One of the most significant things your mom taught you about this, I'll try to narrow it this way, about dealing with serious problems and challenges. Because believe it or not, you did say something to me one time off the air when we were talking about that woman. And I said, how did you deal with that woman we were talking about in Sayreville? Yeah. And you actually said, I don't know if you remember this, you said, my mother told me, Chris, what would someone do when they saw somebody else who was in pain? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
Did she have those conversations with you all the time?
Listen, I grew up in a home with a Sicilian mother and an Irish father. And what that meant at its core was that there was no argument not worth having. Right? No argument not worth having. And
on any subject.
On everything. And so I had lots of these conversations with my mother, both at a high volume at times, and then kind of in the charred landscape charred that existed after one of these fights, where we would kind of assess the damage, and she would at that moment, and only at that moment, have the ability to retroactively look and say, well, maybe I should have done this or that differently, and she would share that with me. So in other words, my mother was expressive about everything, and so she never felt like things should be left unaddressed. So that if she sensed a tension in the room, instead of just leaving it alone, she would light a match. And her view was, let's blow the thing up and see what happens. And so, yeah, we had lots of those conversations because that's the way she ran the house. And believe me, she ran the house. My father, I've said this many times at town hall meetings and describing them, you know, my father was merely a passenger in the automobile of life. You know, mom was he's a wonderful guy. I love him to death, but he was in the passenger seat and she was in the driver's seat.
Does he get mad when you say that?
He did in the beginning. When I remember the first town hall meeting he was at, where I realized I'd been saying it a number of times with him not there. And he comes to a lot of my meetings, and I saw him sitting there this one day. I go, man, now I'm gonna have to say it in front of him. So I said it in front of him, and he came backstage afterwards, and he said, a passenger in the automobile of life? Where did you come up with that? And I'm like, well, it's true, you know. So he got mad the first time, but then after that, listen, at the end, he's now 79 years old. He'll be 80 this spring. And he just wants to be mentioned, you know. So, like,
you too, I got a father like that too.
Just bring him up, you know. So I introduce him at every town hall meeting, and I'm gold after that. I could say whatever the hell I want about him after that. It doesn't matter. As long as I introduced him and he got to stand up and wave to everybody,
right,
then he's okay.
Family is something, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Your wife, Mary Pat, real quick on this. We actually had Mary Pat coming in talking about, she talked on one-on-one about the Hurricane Relief Fund. She also actually sat with Mike Schneider on our sister program, NJ Today, to help raise money for that. She described how you made it clear to her that this had to be done. I heard her version of it. You're laughing again. Yeah. You guys have a lot of interesting dialogues because she said, I said, Mary Pat, could you tell us how it was clear that you would be the leader of this effort to raise tens of millions of dollars for hurricane relief? And she told me her version. You tell us yours.
It was the Thursday after the storm hit that Monday. I'd gone around the table with my cabinet about what needed to be done that day and reports on the overnight. And then I said, you know, we probably need to start a relief fund. Does everybody agree with that? And everybody kind of nodded around the table. And I was looking around the table and I was seeing these poor SOBs, they're all so busy. Like, who am I gonna stick with this job, right? And yeah, you're governor because you know you're not doing it. And so you're looking around the table trying to figure out who you're gonna give this to. I'm like, they're all too busy. And I went, oh. And I went into my pocket and I got my cell phone and I called her and she picked up the phone and I said to her, hey, listen, I didn't even say hello. I just, hey, listen. I said, we need to start a relief fund. I said, I'm going to have some lawyers call you. They're going to set up the 501c3. You're going to be the chairman of it. We need to raise money for it. I said, I'll talk to you more about it tonight.
So it's this real warm.
Well, and what she said in response was, she said, after that charming offer, how could I say no? And I said, thanks for doing it. I got to go. And I hung up, and that was it. And I didn't talk to her again until they got on midnight that night. And I said, the lawyers call you? And she said, yeah.
Did the lawyers call you?
You know, a lot of moving parts when this stuff was going on. You know, you had to move. This is another one of the things Jeb Bush said to me was, he said, you're going to make, 8, 10 decisions an hour.
In a crisis.
In this crisis.
Right.
Don't, that's not my nature to do it anyway, but don't dawdle. Like, make the decisions move.
I hadn't heard that about you.
Yeah. I said to him, he said that to me, and I said, yeah, okay, I got that. Don't worry. Let's move on to the next bit of advice.
Follow up on Mary Pat for a second. The impact that she has had on you as governor.
It's hard to separate as governor and as a person. I mean, she's my wife, and we've been married for 26 years, and we met in college. It's hard for me to remember what life was like without, Mary Pat. So, we're partners, and we've grown up together, literally. And so, she has an influence on everything that I do. I think more than anything else, she keeps me grounded, One
more thing about the family, and I'll move off it.
Yep.
For a lot of the wrong reasons, I don't mean wrong, but for a lot of tragic reasons, because of Hurricane Sandy, you had a national profile before this, the keynote, and so many other things. But your 4 children, and give everyone a sense of the ages.
Yeah, Andrew is 19, Sarah's 16, Patrick's 12, Bridget is 9.
Yeah. They've been through, they've had a whirlwind, right?
Yeah.
Since you've been governor, right?
Sure, yeah.
I'm sure it's been challenging for them. It's been exciting for them. Yeah. How do they keep it all together?
They're incredibly focused kids. Andrew's freshman in college now, and
where?
At Princeton.
Yeah, I know. I knew that. I just want to give you a chance to say that.
That night actually, when he was, it was I think a year ago today that he was admitted to Princeton, and I came home that night. Mary Pat was standing at the sink washing dishes. She didn't hear me come in. I came in behind her, and we both went to the University of Delaware. And so I came up behind her and kind of grabbed her around the waist, and I whispered in her ear. I said, I don't remember what happened that night, but the jeans must have exploded. like two people from Delaware. We got a Princeton kid. This is like unbelievable, right? But the kids are very focused on their lives, and one of the things, and Governor Kane made a similar decision when he was governor. One of the things that we decided very early on was we weren't moving to Princeton. That we weren't going to move to Drumthwacket. It's a great place. It's a wonderful home. It's beautiful. But we wanted our kids to stay in the schools where they were. We didn't want them to go into new schools where people said, there's the governor's son. There's the governor's daughter. We wanted them to keep the same friends that they had before I got this job. And I think that was a key decision. I've never spoken to Governor Kane about this, about his experience, but I think it was a key decision in what you see in my children. I have a new job, and it provides them with some opportunities and some pitfalls, but it's my job. And their every day is pretty much the same, with the exception of the troopers. It's pretty much the same.
You did take them to Saturday Night Live.
Sure.
You got a Clooney story, you can't tell. Yeah, you get.
Yeah, that was where I got in with Mary Pat.
Yeah, that was big. 1 minute version. I got 5 minutes. Give me the 1 minute version,
right,
and then I'll do the state of American politics.
White House car.
Josh, don't be mad. Josh is one of our. Josh is like, why is he asking?
You're killing my minute.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
White House correspondent.
Yeah, we are going to air this, aren't we?
George Clooney's at the next table. Gaggle of women around him. Mary Pat walks up to our table. She's trying to inch her way in to go see him. I said, don't do that. Don't insult yourself. Sit down at the table here, and I guarantee you before dinner's over, George Clooney will come over to say hello to me. And she said to me, you are crazy. And I said, no, I'm not. I said, let's make it interesting. And she said, how much? I said, $20. She said, okay. We shook. We bet $20. Right after the salad course, I'm looking over at the table, and George Clooney looks at me. So I nod at George Clooney, and I see him take his napkin off his lap and throw it on his plate. I'm like, I am in. He gets up from the table, walks around, he gets within about 10 yards of me, and he says out loud, my favorite Republican in America. And I said to him, Mr. Clooney, he said, please call me George. Of course. And why wouldn't I? And so I said to him, George, can you do me a favor? I'm going to call my wife over here. You got to make a big deal over her. And he said, what's her name? I said, Mary Pat. Great. So I said, Mary Pat, come on over. And she's like shaking her head like, I cannot believe I lost $20 to this guy. Right? She comes walking over, and he goes right up to her and says, Mary Pat. She goes, Mr. Clooney, goes, and he grabs her hand, shakes her hand, and he starts with his left hand, stroking her forearm. And he says, Mary Pat, I have to tell you, I've watched your husband on television, and he's so natural and authentic. And you know what I said to myself? He's got to have a loving woman at home to be that natural. She was like, she melted out of her dress. She was just a puddle on the floor. And I was $20 deep. How good were you?
Was it good for you? You have a good night?
Listen, the night was good for me too. I got no complaints.
All right, watch this segue. Governor, what do you consider the state of American politics and the Republican Party and its future? Governor Kane thinks things are tough for the Republican Party. You say?
Well, yeah, after you lose 2 national elections in a row, sure.
Because?
Sure. Well, because you lost.
Well, you stop with the... You went on for 4 minutes about Clooney. Will you give me more about the Republican Party?
Clooney's more complicated.
Why is the Republican Party in so much trouble nationally?
Well, because we're not connecting with the American people and talking about the issues that matter to them in a way that gives them hope and optimism.
Why is that so hard for them? Because they keep losing.
Listen, we had the same conversation in December of 1988 about the Democratic Party. They had lost 3 national elections in a row. And they were completely lost, and they're no longer connected with the American people. And you know what happened? They got Bill Clinton. And in the end, there is no substitute for the candidate. Everybody talks about the political consultants and the atmosphere and this, that. It's the candidate. The candidate wins or loses the election. And that's it. And if we had had better candidates, we might have won. In the last 2 elections, they had a better candidate who executed better, who expressed himself better, who connected with the American people better, and he won.
Would you have been a better candidate than Mitt Romney?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Listen, everybody's a Monday morning quarterback, okay? I could have been better, he could have been better. No, I don't think, until you're the person in that firestorm that is an American presidential race, you have no idea how good you're gonna be or not. And so I have no idea, and you know, I'm glad I don't know, because I wasn't ready.
You gonna be ready?
Who knows? I mean, we'll see. By definition, I'll be more ready than I would have been before if I'm doing my job the right way, but it doesn't mean that I'll be ready, and even if I am, it doesn't mean that I'll decide to do it.
A little bit less than a minute left. Biggest challenge the state faces over the next several years if you're elected?
Rebuilding after Sandy. I mean, that's clearly the biggest challenge, and the most, it is the all-consuming now issue and challenge of the next, at least, I think, 18 to 24 months.
How confident are you about that?
Me? I'm always confident because I lead a group of the greatest people in the world. You meet the people in New Jersey, they're the toughest, grittiest, big-hearted people you're going to want to meet anywhere in the country. And when you lead that group of people, how can you not be confident? I'm absolutely confident. And I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that I can lead them the right way because I'm one of them. And so they're going to be challenges, but I have no doubt about it, none.
Thank you, Governor Chris Christie. Thanks for watching. Now let's continue the conversation about this and other important topics and issues on Facebook. Visit my page at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD.
Conversations at NJ PAC with Steve Adubato featuring Governor Chris Christie has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. And by the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, in cooperation with NJTV, and 13 for WNET. Funding for this edition of Conversations at NJPAC with Steve Adubato featuring Governor Chris Christie has been provided by Health First New Jersey, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and banking under the principle of stewardship. TD Bank, NJ Best, New Jersey's 529 College Savings Plan. Turn a dream into a degree. Josh S. Weston, the Fidelco Group, Roche, Barnabas Health, the New Jersey Education Association, working for great public schools for every child. Cohn Resnick, providing accounting, tax, and advisory services for more than 90 years. And by New Jersey Natural Gas, proud to support education in our communities. Promotional support provided by the Star Ledger and NJ.com, Everything Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.